preparing. It's now streaming live on Facebook. Hey, everybody, how is it going? It is Greg Kettner, the founder of the Humor Lab Group, and it is Monday at 10 o'clock, and we have another live podcast, WorkHappy. And today, a good friend of mine, GeoffMcLachlan, is our guest. How are you, Geoff?
Woo! Super excited. It's Monday. I didn't know it was Monday. I was just like, it's a day that ends in Y, and I was like, I was just going to go big.
Right? And I was going to say, like, if you're scrolling, stop scrolling. Check us out. I'm just looking on the Facebook page here. See
Yeah, I want to share it with my massive group of like 100+ people because, it's pretty big. It's almost 10,000 like yours.
You're a pretty big deal, man.
I'm 1/10 of the big deal you are.
But we're working happy.
We are totally working happy, man. It's about the impact that you can make, and if you can work happy, my goodness, you make a great impact in your business, in your life, and everything.
All right, I think I'm on it now.
Are you on it now? Okay.
Share button. Watch party. There we go.
Sweet.
All right, watch party. All right, so just before we start, if you're scrolling, I got to do this slower.
I was seeing tracers there for a second, like.
If you're scrolling, stop by, check it out. We're going to be on for 10 or 15 minutes. But the whole idea of the podcast, the WorkHappy podcast, we're working from home. Geoff and I have been working from home, you a lot longer. But how do we work happy? How do we enjoy our jobs? So if you have any questions during the interview, feel free to type them in there, start a watch party, whatnot. Hey, Zeka, good to see you. My buddy, he's a coach down in over in Africa.
Wow.
Coach, so
cool.
Anyway, so all right, ADD time over. Come on. We're happy podcast.
Focus,
Greg. That's all you gotta do is focus.
You gotta focus. Come on. Feel a little discombobulated.
So. All right, you're a speaker, a coach. You run professionals at play. Yep. We were just at a conference with Tony Rubelski. I said that wrong, Tony. I'm sorry, but it was great. It was a mind capture boot camp. You spoke, and it was great. I mean, I've known you for a while, but it's the first time I got to see you in front of a live crowd, socially distanced, masked up. But It was great to see how you took a group of 50 people and connected to them within 20 minutes. Just by playing, and that's what you do. So share a little bit about what you do to the Humor Lab.
So I'm like Greg said, professional speaker, trainer, and coach. And I've been facilitating large groups for the last 15 years, a lot of those in schools. So if you really, as a speaker, if you want to become a speaker or something, schools are always looking for people to actually come in and do stuff with either their leadership teams or their students or their teachers. And it's a great way to work on your chops as a speaker, because if they hand you a microphone and you're in front of a couple hundred kids and you've got an hour, you not only have to be entertaining, but you have to be educational. And so a former business partner and I, we coined the term edutainment. And we're working with students, it has to be fun and educational. And they have to kind of go, oh, and they have to get these massive aha moments. And so I started doing that with professionals as well, because adults started asking me, like, they look like they're having so much fun. Like, they're laughing, they're playing, they're enjoying each other, they're engaged, they're fully present in the moment. And we want that for our staff, or we want that for our business, or could you do that for my husband's construction company or manufacturing? And so that's kind of how I got started. And it's all been, basically out of my house and out of, word of mouth advertising. And I'm, I as a business person, I should be more adept at marketing and doing, the businessy things. My passion, though, is really working with people and connecting people. So that for me is something I've been doing for a long time. And it's all about working happy. I mean, realistically, if you love what you do, you're going to be more productive. You're going to be more engaged in the process. You're going to have fewer sick days. Your overall everything gets better. Like you're a better human being when you're actually enjoying, when you're like in a calling. And so I help people to try and realize what is their calling, how do they make their job better? How do they interact on a much closer scale so that they can achieve more with their teams and their people?
Yeah, no, and I found that during your talk when you had us play Thumb Wars. Like, here's a game I haven't played since grade 6, right? But it was interesting to see the connections that were made, and it's a lasting memory because people were laughing, having fun, and we were enjoying ourselves. And I can only imagine, is it tougher to get a group of adults laughing and working together, or a group of kids, or is it totally different?
They're very different, very different. I actually think that the students are tougher because they're a captive audience, meaning they don't necessarily, it's usually at a school, and there's a lot of kids that are bored and that don't want to be there. And so immediately the one thing that gets them involved right away is laughter and humor and comedy. And so when I'm working with schools, I generally start off with I do a little comedy routine. And kids always ask me, I mean, every presentation I've ever done in front of students, they go, "Are you a professional comedian?" And I'm like, "Oh, no. Comedy. No, that's terrifying. That's hard. Comedy is hard. Life is easy." They're like, "But you're so funny." They don't realize that the comedy routine, it's like, any professional comedian will have their strong set of 10, right? If you get a strong 10, you're good. You can start to build on that. Well, I've got about a strong 45 in front of kids. And the beautiful part about kids is that they cycle through so quickly so that I can go back to the same school year after year after year. And they just go, "Oh my gosh," because they've never seen it before. I guess the most challenging part would be saying, oh, sorry, that's my cat's tail.
I'm glad it was only the tail.
She was trying to show other things. And so gotta watch out. The home office is seriously, it's a place where all the things get done. But those kids, it's funny because they assume that you've done this is the first time. And they're like, "You just said that off the cuff. You just came up with that." I'm like, "No, I've said that over 1,000 times." But the miracle is that because it's a new audience every time, I get to make it look new. For them, I'm 100% into it. I'm invested in the outcome and invested in each and every student that goes through the program and each and every professional that I work with. Hi, this is my cat. She loves me. Yeah, she's like, "Oh yeah, look at that." She's awesome. She makes me happy, actually. See, I'm releasing endorphins right now, which is all about being happy and having fun.
Which helps us be happy, and it lowers that stress. I know at times when I've had a long, hard day, I'll jump on YouTube and, maybe it's a cat video or baby fails or whatever, but it's amazing. And you don't have to be a stand-up comedian. You don't have to know improv. Just watching it and laughing is great for the body and the mind.
Yeah, I think you posted one in the Humor Lab, or maybe it was the Humor Lab workplace. That little kid, he looks like he's about 2.5 years old on a golf course. And I mean, you look at his swing and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this kid's got a great swing, like left arm straight, like whoosh." I mean, toe cocked out. And I was just like, and all of a sudden he starts to swing and I'm like, he's going to nail it. He's going to nail it. And he just whiffs and he swings so hard that he's like, and just goes down. And I thought that was so brilliant because it was not what I was expecting. It caught me off guard. And it was just, I mean, it was so funny. And but that moment, it was, I think, like a 2-minute video. I think after that, I got right back to work, and I think I got more done in the next 30 minutes. I was just focused, and it was that burst of endorphins. It was like that laughter. So if you work happy, that being able to access those endorphins in your brain and other people's brains is huge. It helps to focus you, helps to bring you into the moment. So if, I don't know, I'm assuming you and I have done a couple of trainings on Zoom overload, and people are zoomed out and they're zombies and stuff. How do we access those brain chemicals on purpose with our teams so that we can be more productive in the home environment? And that's one of them, is that laughter, that piece of enjoyment where you just get a big endorphin rush and you're just like, wow, and you feel invigorated and you can just go again. It's awesome. Everybody needs that.
Yeah, and that's what I teach my clients as well too, right? If we're at home, we're locked in the office, the cat's running around, we have laundry, I still have to clean a bathroom, which I was supposed to do yesterday, so I've got to do that. But I will set my clock for 20 minutes, work hard, and then I play hard for 5 minutes.
Yep.
What that does with your mind, it releases everything. And during that 5 minutes, I'll make a quick phone call or, watch a YouTube video where I'm laughing, and then I get right back into the 20 minutes instead of working for the full hour. Or if you do, you got back to back to back, you're a zombie. I like that. You gotta trademark that, man.
That's another thing. I'm slow on the uptake. I'm like, I thought I created something that went national years and years and years ago. And I was like, I started saying that 10 years ago, and now it's popular. And now I can't remember what it was. So apparently it wasn't that good.
Well, we'll try and revive it for you. What's an ideal client for you? I know you you coach one-on-one, but you also do group coaching.
I do some group coaching. I do, it's strange because a lot of the things that I like to do, I really do prefer things in person.
Yeah.
And that's really hard, obviously, in today's environment, which is why everybody's on Zoom calls all the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of my coaching clients have now moved to either phone calls if they're individual. And I know that they're zoomed out. So I just do a phone call and it's relaxing for them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't have to be on Zoom, thank God. And I'm like, I can literally hear the stress leaving their body because they don't have to be on a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
And, so there's that. And then I do some work with teams, and teams you can't really do on a phone call. You do have to do on a Zoom meeting, but I like to keep those relatively short because I find that they're more productive. The moment I see eyes start to glaze over, or people are just like doing this kind of a thing, like,
yeah,
you
right.
know that they're not engaged. So you have to keep it engaging and lighthearted. So I guess my ideal clients really are the people that want to win in business and life. And I know that seems pretty broad, but not everybody knows where they want to go yet. There are people that are just in jobs, which is fine. We've all had jobs. There are people in careers, which, that's prestige and a higher amount of money, and that's great. But then there's those people that are in callings or trying to go from career to calling and really trying to figure out what they want in their life, both professionally and personally. And I tend to find that those are my ideal clients, people that are really starting that journey on self-discovery and where I want to go and how do I want to become successful? How do I want to make an impact, not just for myself or my family, but for the rest of the world? And so those people that are really want to make a difference in their lives, in whether it's speaking or marketing, or I've got a couple of clients that are actually, one is a huge, oh my gosh, he's on a massive deal right now. He took his company from $200,000 projects to his latest project in only 8 years is $200 million is the budget. And they're working on, are you ready for this? They're working on a proposal right now for a $750 million project.
That's great.
And I'm like, so we talk a lot about stress and time management. and hey, you have to time block things for yourself. Like, how do we do that? And what do you fill that with so that you can actually go and do the things that you need to do? Because I'm like, that's just insane. That's really nuts. And so that's a huge client. And then I have a single mom who's just trying to start her business. And she's like, I want to make a difference for my kid, and I want to make a difference for the world. And how do I do that? And so, I mean, there's a huge disparity, but they're both passionate about what they do and the impact that they make for other people. And so that's where that goes from career to calling. And so those are my ideal people, the people that really want to go from one stage to the next.
Yeah, no, that's great. So if anybody out there, if you're on Humor Lab watching or watching the replay, if you're watching the replay, type #replay. If you have any questions for Geoff, feel free to leave them in the comments and he'll get back to you. Geoff, people who are on here today, what is the best way for them to get a hold of you? If like, you know what, I need someone to talk to. I'm exploring this, I'm exploring that. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
They can always find me at professionalsatplay.com, which is my website, which is, I look at on a regular basis, like at least once a month. I'm very consistent with that. Or the quickest, fastest way is to find me on Facebook and PM me. Shoot me a message. I have a Professionals at Play business page, and then I have a Professionals at Play group page. I'm more actively involved in the group page, or they can actually find me at Geoff McLachlan on Facebook or Professionals at Play LinkedIn. And I'm pretty active on there as well.
Okay. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon because we do have a client call coming up this afternoon.
Yes, we do.
So we'll be there. But thank you, everybody, on the Humor Lab for watching. Again, it's Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific. And thank you for being a member of the Humor Lab. If you haven't yet today, share one of the posts on your page so more people can enjoy laughter, have less stress, be more productive, and enjoy working from home. Thanks again, Geoff. Have a great day. Take care, Facebook world, and we'll see you next Monday at 10 o'clock. Cheers.
Peace.
Bye. Click off.